Hey, I'm Aaron Fish, and this is Fish Food, where we make tasty, approachable snacks. So today, we're making lemon pepper fried chicken on a bun with Creole tomato onion whipped cream cheese. Step one, let's make our fried chicken flour. So I've got flour, a little baking soda. I've got a spice grinder. Okay, it says spices only because I have the exact same one for grinding my coffee, and I don't want my coffee to taste like cumin. So, plug this bad girl in. Give this thing a shake. Now, when you get your spice blends from Spiceology, I highly recommend, if they didn't sit for a little bit, give them a nice shake, make sure everything's nice and distributed evenly, especially because there's big chunks of peppercorn in there. So we're just gonna dump some in there. And what I'm trying to do is I really want to chop up those peppercorns, so that's why I'm using a grinder today. Lemon pepper's all ground up. We're gonna dump it in there. We're gonna give it a whisk. Now, we also are gonna need to put some salt in this, but what I like to do is wait until I get all my spices in here and give it a taste. There is a little bit of salt in some of the blends, and they're not always like, a lot of salt, but a little bit of salt. So I'm gonna put a little bit more. It's a little salty, but not salty enough for fried chicken. All right, so our flour is ready. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make our batter. So I've got another bowl here, and our batter consists of equal parts of buttermilk and egg and flour. So I'm gonna whisk this egg. Now you could totally throw this in a blender or food processor, do it up like that if you wanted to, but you don't need to. It's kind of up to you. Okay, so we got the buttermilk and the egg mixed together, and then we always put some of the flour in there as well. That's gonna help create this nice thick batter for the chicken tenders, so that when we go to bread them, the breading sticks in real good. All right, our batter's ready, it's all mixed up. I've got my chicken tenders. You just buy these right at the store, just throw them in here. You could totally brine these ahead of time if you want. Tenders I don't really worry too much about. If I'm doing chicken breast, I always try to brine it. Helps it stay moist. But we're just gonna make a fried chicken sandwich with these, and it's gonna be delicious. So just give them a nice toss, let them sit. And I like to let them sit for maybe like 2 hours in the batter. Just the buttermilk kind of helps to break it down a little bit, make it delicious. So I'm gonna stick that in the fridge, and we're gonna make our cheese dip. All right, we're gonna make our cheese spread. So I've got some mayonnaise here, I've got some cream cheese. I just bought some pre-whipped cream cheese. You definitely want it whipped because it helps to incorporate everything and it makes it way more spreadable. So we're gonna take a little bit of mayonnaise. You don't need very much. I would say probably like 25% of the volume of the cream cheese you have in there. We're gonna take our chorizo blend. Oh, don't forget, shake it up. Oh yeah. Put our chorizo blend in there. And we're just gonna give it a stir. Now you can even put like a little lemon juice in here. You don't wanna use chorizo blend. You could just keep it straight cream cheese, actually. It would be really delicious. Or there's plenty of other wonderful spice blends from Spiceology. Really anything would work in here, as long as you kind of try to pair it with whatever you're putting on there. Oh, it smells good. All right, wonderful. Alrighty, so I've got a pot of oil set at just about 350 degrees, and we're gonna do some fried chicken. So I like to double fry my chicken, and the process with that is that we're gonna fry it, let it rest, and then refry it before we build our sandwich. So I also use the wet hand, dry hand method. What that means is, I'll show you. So I'm using my wet hand to grab this tender, drop it into the flour. This is now my dry hand. And what this is gonna stop from happening is you're not gonna have a bunch of clumps all over one of your hands. It'll be easy to wash both of them because you're not gonna have egg wash that's been coated with the chicken flour, which is what happens to the flour all over the chicken, and that won't be on your hands, see? The hands are pretty easy to clean up. All right, so I'm gonna do about 3 pieces at a time. pot's not very big, so I don't want to overpopulate it. But just dredge them up real good. I can smell that lemon and pepper, it's great. And we're just gonna lay them in. You know, the temperature of your oil is gonna drop really fast because of, you know, you're adding something to it that's colder. It's gonna take the heat out of it. So we are going to let those fry for maybe like 2 to 5 minutes until they're cooked through. The temperature you're looking for is 165 degrees. That's when chicken's done. You can temp it, or you can just kind of make sure you fry it long enough. You don't want to eat raw chicken, so I won't go there. All right, so this is the initial fry. They're all done. They all temp to 165. And you can see it's not super dark, but the crust is like, comes off. It's not as crispy yet because we haven't done the double fry. So you let these rest. You can even let them cool off overnight if you want, so you can double fry them tomorrow. As long as you keep them on a rack, something like this, so that there's airflow around them and they're not just sitting in their grease. Our fryer's back up to the 350, so we're gonna pick a couple and throw them in there. Get the double crisp fry on them. For our sandwiches. All right, let's make our sandwich. You can see our chicken's been double fried. So, you know, the second fry is super important. You're really just looking to get this darker, more firm texture and keep it, you know, hot, but you've already cooked it all the way through, so you don't have to worry about whether or not it's gonna be raw in the center. You just want that nice crispy exterior. So I've got a brioche bun from Delicious Bakery out of Spokane, Washington. And I went ahead and pre-toasted it, butter toasted it in my cast iron. And used some grain mustard. This is my favorite kind of mustard. It's a stone ground. And use a spoon to spread it out. This one chef I used to work with said, coast to coast. That means spread the sauce all over the bun. Okay. On the top, we're gonna put our cheese spread. And don't be afraid to put a lot. Okay. Now, I like to put the lettuce on the bottom. There's a big reason for that, is because just the way that the sandwich eats is a little bit better. So we're gonna put the lettuce, and then I've also got some dill pickles from Good Foods, also out of Spokane, Washington. These are wonderful, wonderful pickles. I like to put a little extra on my sandwich. And then I'm gonna grab these two guys. Oh, let's try to set them on there. So, one trick of putting the lettuce on the bottom, it doesn't always anchor as well. I'm gonna go ahead and just stick this right on top. Smash it down a little bit. You can see it oozing, look at that. All right, before we get into this, I want to talk more about fried chicken. So the method that I showed you today is, I think, one of the best methods for making fried chicken. If you are using tenders. So if you're looking at bone-in, or we're using you know, a bigger breast or something like that, I highly recommend that you do the initial fry, get it nice and crusted on the outside, put it on that pan, and then bake it at 300 degrees until it reaches 165 in the center. That way, you don't have to worry about overcooking the outside to get that internal temperature up so that it's completely cooked. And then just follow the same method for reheating it. You know, double frying it, and the oil will be fine. It'll bring it up to temperature, and you'll have wonderful fried chicken. So let's get into the sandwich. And you pick the side that's gonna be, since I got the tenders, eat me. Oh no. Sorry, it was super hot. I got a big piece of chicken in my mouth. That is amazing. I mean, it's fun because you got that lemon pepper with the fried chicken. It's like crispy and salty. And then this Creole, you know, tomato, onion, chorizo, cream cheese spread adds like a really fun other flavor to it. It's kind of smoky, tomatoey, cheesy. The mustard helps cut through and balance it out with the lettuce and the pickles. And I'd be hard pressed to find a better chicken sandwich. This is delicious fish food.